evening, ladies and gentlemen. Could you please be upstanding for the platform party?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mary, and I'm here with the other 3 head students here at QEGS. We are delighted to welcome you to this year's Speech Day. If you are able, please be upstanding for the National Anthem. I'll now hand over to our Chair of Governors, Mr. Moore.
Please everybody sit down. So, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, most excellent prize-winning pupils, welcome to Speech Day. And I'm really delighted to see some of last year's 6th form have come back. It's always great to see you. I would especially like to welcome Mr. Max Jeffrey tonight, who's going to be our main speaker. So, on the 24th of January this year, I was sitting in a very crowded, very hot meeting room, and there was a lot of tension in the air. We were waiting to hear the verdict from the Ofsted school inspector on Queen Elizabeth's recent inspection. What the inspector said about the pupils and parents of this school, has stayed with me. But let me tell you about the lead up to this. The school had been expecting an inspection for about a year, but it can happen at 24 hours notice. A lot of effort had been put into preparing for the inspection, but not at the cost of day-to-day education. And we'd received a lot of help from QEGS in the run-up. And I should just explain, QEGS is the multi-academy trust that's like the umbrella organisation under which Queen Elizabeth and a number of other schools are sheltered. It kind of replaces the local authority as the parent organisation of the school. So on the Monday morning prior, I'd arranged to meet Mr. Garrity to have our initial meeting, because it was my first day as the new Chair of Governors at QEGS. We were just sort of having some pleasantries and just getting the first cup of coffee when Sarah Smith, Mr. Garrity's excellent PA, came bustling through the door and said that Ofsted were on the phone. I thought she was joking. They didn't look like practical jokes, and looking at Mr. Garrity, he was looking a bit stressed. So I was there listening to this initial conversation between the senior inspector and Mr. Garrity, and then the subsequent conversation where all the school leadership team came in, and we briefed the inspector on what she needed to know and arranged to provide her with the documentation. But I was really impressed because there was no panic, there was no anxiousness. You know, all the school staff, they very coolly and calmly dealt with what was in front of them. And over the next 2 days, the school was in the thick of it in the inspection process. As governors, we didn't really hear that much. Everyone was too busy, but we're kind of hoping that no news was going to be good news. So at the end of the 2 days, there we were, sitting in that hot meeting room, hanging on the inspector's every word. And she put us out of our misery straight away and confirmed that the school was rated as good. And then she talked about the pupils. She said all the inspectors had commented how calm, respectful, and polite the pupils were that they had met. At this point, I was glancing across at Mr. Garrity, wondering if perhaps he had contacted a theatrical agency and hired a load of extras to play the part of perfect pupils and follow the inspectors around. But no, she was talking about your children. They were an utter credit to you and to the school. And she said, and I quote this, "The pupils are very positive about the education they receive, and they know that the staff want the best for them. They know how to be safe both inside and outside the school, and the vast majority show respect to each other and their teachers." Amazing stuff. Then she turned to the parents. And at this point, I should just say that parents is it's an all-encompassing term for parents, guardians, grandparents, foster parents, and in some cases, even older brothers and sisters. We recognise that in many cases, it's the person who loves the child and is prepared to step up and take responsibility that deserves the title parent. For this part of the inspection process, parents have been invited to take part in an online survey, and the results were strong. The positive responses ranged from around 75 to 95%. We had 2 weak areas which I can assure you have been and will continue to be addressed. Parents have been invited to contact the inspectors direct if they had any points they particularly wanted to make, both good and bad. And the inspectors were satisfied that the school had been dealing properly with concerns. But in some cases, the parents rang in with praise. So one parent said, "There were so many extracurricular opportunities to develop each child, and my daughter's confidence, self-esteem and positivity have been developed greatly." If that was somebody sitting in this room, I thank you. And I'm preaching to the converted, but the most important factor in the success of a child's education is for the pupils' parents to be right behind them and also supportive of the school. And the very fact that you've come here tonight shows that you share that view. So, thank you. And at this point, I'd also like to ask for your help. Social media can be a really savage arena, and negative voices always seem to outweigh the positive. Queen Elizabeth sometimes gets undeserved bad press, which I think is uninformed and can be pretty depressing sometimes to read. I would ask you as parents to help us by honestly stating your opinions in reply to any negative comments that you see, supportive or otherwise. An honest comment is always valued. And finally, the inspector turned to a discussion on the school staff. She said, and I quote, "The school leaders and middle management have high expectations and work hard to improve the quality of teaching and outcomes for pupils." She said that the teachers and leaders were clear-sighted. By school staff, she meant everybody. The caretakers, the teaching assistants, teaching staff, admin support, senior leaders, exam officers, they all share this clear vision to improve the outcomes for pupils. And she particularly noted the wealth of co-curricular clubs and societies and sports that teachers provide after the school day. Unbelievably, this is over 100 clubs now. The school's most valuable asset is its staff. So I'd ask you to join me in applauding the staff for their hard work, dedication and moral commitment to improving the prospects for your children. And finally tonight, I'd just like to mention somebody who's going to be leaving the team and going into well-earned retirement. Mrs. Anne Martin joined the school over 20 years ago. She's been deputy head teacher, and later CEO of the Multi-Academy Trust that I mentioned previously. And she was instrumental, along with Max Jeffrey and the other governors at that time, in setting up the Multi-Academy Trust. Her clear vision, inspirational leadership, and sheer hard work have been fundamental to the success of Queen Elizabeth and the Academy Trust. I was in a final meeting with Anne the other night, and she was signing off as CEO. Her party and shot to us was, pay attention, take care of the children. And I think this sums Anne up. Her top priority has always been the success and well-being of your children. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. We'd now like to invite our head teacher, Mr. Garrity, to speak.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming this evening. Great to see so many familiar faces, ex-students, current students, and new parents as well. This year at Speech Day, our special guest and presenter of prizes is ex-QEGS student Max Jeffrey. Max will be speaking to us about his memories of his time at QEGS and where his career took him afterwards. I know he has had many challenges and successes, and I'm looking forward to hearing his story and his advice for our students who are here this evening. Max has already spoken to Year 11 today, and he had interested parties at the end of his speech, I think, coming to look for a job at JCB. So recruitment looks strong, I think, for JCB. Recently, we hosted a political debate at the sixth form. And the group of political representatives, some of which are here this evening, so thank you for coming, who visited the school, what they echoed was what we always say at QEGS, which is education is about so much more than just your grades. We all agreed, all the representatives and myself in our discussion in the staff room in the sixth form, that grades are just one indicator. And they are important, but actually the skills that are more important are teamwork, problem solving, debating, listening, caring, empathizing, being resilient, and helping others. They're the skills that few exams test or measure, but we really rate them as high as can be here at QEGS. And they're put to the test every day in life. It's quite tough, and that's why I think they are the special skills for people to learn and develop in school. The exams we all sit at 16, 18, 21 and beyond, they're good challenges, but they're not as good as the challenge of day-to-day life. Once we'd had that discussion, the political representatives then went into what you might call the bear pit, which was the sixth form common room, which is where the sixth formers were waiting to ask them their questions about current political debates and issues. And Year 13 did a great job. They were amazing. They had some really good questions, and they're really interested in current political situations. So well done, Year 13. I was really proud of you. On to student successes. Once again this year, we've had many talents on show at our school, and we've had many school events. A great example of this was the Oscars film night, organised by Miss Tilly and Mr. Payne. The creative and digital media students showcased their own short films in the Elite Cinema in Ashbourne. It was a spectacular evening, and whilst our thoughts and prayers are with the Ilsley family during this week, we know that Mr. Ilsley would have been very proud of the talents on show and how the course that he set up is now flourishing. And we have a short video of what was on show that evening, as well as the winning film.
really good to see you all. We've gathered everyone here today to watch some fantastic films that the Year 13s have worked extremely hard on.
Everyone at QEGS is extremely proud and they put so much time and effort into these short clips. So please sit back, relax and enjoy the show.
Oh, and don't forget to turn off your phones. Action.
Several people found injured after being attacked in the marketplace on Sunday, the 7th of October at 12 noon. Several witnesses say there was an individual wearing a green jumper in a trance-like state. Police are still in search of the suspect.
Mr. Michael Jones, I'm Detective Stone. Where is it?
Where's what? I don't know what you're talking about.
You know full well what I'm talking about. On Thursday the 11th of April at 11:56 p.m, very important documents were taken from a government-run facility with the culprit described in a very similar manner to your appearance.
It wasn't me.
Liar!
To drink? Scotch, please. Scotch. I'm trying to play. Blackjack. Winner takes all.
I recognise you two.
I think you're actually going to finish this glass of wine. Last time we had some, half of it went down the sink.
I will, I promise. I'm just tired and I want to go to bed, so I just...
Yeah, but, you know, we could have finished it. It was expensive.
Alright, sorry for wasting your money then.
It's alright, I suppose. Anyways, an all pressing matter, what are we going to watch tonight?
I don't really mind, to be honest. Boys and girls. Oh, this is better than this rubbish.
Wow, I loved those, they were fantastic. We want to say a very, very special thank you to everybody that's helped make this happen. Friends, family, QEGS staff, and especially the elite cinema team. I know what my favourite was. Which one was yours?
It's too hard to say.
Round of applause. The creative subjects are definitely alive and kicking in this school, so don't let anybody tell you anything different. There's a massive amount of talent here, and the staff here promote their courses and teach them to a high standard. This will be national standard. This will be professional standard for some of those students, so well done. And the winner is coming up in one of our prizes for the QEGS Oscar, so listen out for that one. We end this year on a high with our new spacious and modern food technology room, and also, for those that know old tech, if you remember that phrase, getting a facelift, so we think it'll now be called old new tech, maybe. The BAT survey is clear, green light to progress, and if you know about BAT surveys, it certainly held up the progress for a while, but we're all good to go. We've had great sporting achievements. We've had the Adams Family School Show, and this March we've got West Side Story, so if you haven't booked your tickets for the March shows, then please look out for those on the school website. Last week we had over 1,000 Christmas jumpers on show in school to support children's charities. And this week, just today in fact, we had our final to our lunchtime football tournament where it was Year 11 Spalding playing Year 10 Spalding. And Year 10 Spalding won 1-0. So they are the trophy winners of the new lunchtime tournament, with Year 8s and 9s taking part in theirs after Christmas. We have so many students who want to get involved in whatever we offer, and they give their time, effort and money sometimes to good causes we promote, so thank you. I also want to thank the sponsors of new prizes and to all sponsors for their financial support that they give each year. Students that come up this evening to collect their prizes will get some monetary reward, and they will use that in their studies or in their pastimes. It's a real privilege and a real honour for them to collect that. We have a new prize this year, which is the Anne Martin Prize for Leadership. And Anne Martin, our CEO, allegedly retires tomorrow. But I don't think she actually is retiring, if I'm being honest with you. She's told me what she's doing, which sounds, I think, busier than probably what she's already doing. But I think there is a bit of me time in there. She's worked in a variety of schools. She'll continue to support leaders in education going forward. She has booked some holidays, I'm reassured to know. Don't know if Paddy's on all of the holidays, but she's on some of them. And she's going to pursue some crafts and talents that she's interested in. So we want to thank Anne for all of her support, and we have a small gift for her from all of us at QEGS. It's a small gift in a big bag, I think. Thank you, Mrs. Martin. As we end 2024, we also want to take time to remember those who've passed, including former colleagues and supporters of the school. Gail Wells, former colleague, Doreen Wheatcroft, ex-student and key member of the Ashburnians, and finally James Ilsley, former colleague, whose funeral is tomorrow, with over 20 colleagues and many sixth form students attending that funeral tomorrow. They each gave so much to this school and made students' lives better because of their commitment, and they will always be remembered. I want to thank the students, the staff, and the whole community for continuing to support each other and for showing that they really do care. Care is the most important value within our school, and caring for others is an honour and a privilege. I feel honoured to be the head teacher of this school, and let's hope that 2025 is another amazing year. Have a fantastic, festive family break. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garrity. I'd now like to introduce our first musical interlude, which is Lucas Shirtcliffe singing My Way.
I'm sure you knew when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all and I stood tall and did it my way. I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way. Yes, it was my way.
Thank you very much, Lucas. That was fantastic. I will now hand over to Mr. Walker for the presentation of prizes.
Thank you. Lucas is pretty good, isn't he? I am not going to sing these awards. My favourite part of the evening is certainly recognising all of our ex and current students, so I love this part. The first award tonight is the Devonshire Key. The Devonshire Key was used by the Duke of Devonshire when he opened the new school on the Green Road in 1909. It is presented to the head students to symbolise the opportunity that was made available from that day to the young people of this area. And this award goes to Mary Brooks, Will Ulton, Evie Hale and Delilah Waring. Our second award tonight is the Peter and Phyllis Salis Award, the best GCSE results. Peter and Phyllis Salis are Ashburnians and both served as president of the society. And the award for this award goes to Charlotte Hoon. Next up is the Governor's GCSE Progress Prize, awarded to the student who has made the most progress at GCSE level. And this award, who is also picking up the subject award for design and technology, goes to Joe Young. Next is the Mary Dear Cup. Mary Dear was a past president of the Ashburnian Society and served for over 17 years as a head teacher of a school for students with special educational needs. The Mary Dear Cup is presented to the student who, despite facing significant challenges, achieved a high standard of results in their examinations. And the winner for this prize this year is James Lund. Next, move on to the Year 11 subject prizes. The first award in this category is for the Art and Design Award, the Oliver Prize, and this goes to Lottie Cowley. Next, Art Textiles, and this award goes to Gregory Perkin. Picking up the Business Studies and also the Spanish Award is Hannah Burton. The Year 11 Construction Award goes to Benjamin Sims. For Computer Science and also picking up the English Language and also the Geography Award is Molly Davis. The Childcare Award this year goes to Caitlin Baker. For Creative Digital Media, the Shepherd PR Prize, this is awarded to Megan Cox. For English Literature, we have Darcy McCarthy. The Engineering Award this year goes to Robert Wheeler. The Dance Award goes to Ellis Rohagan. For Drama this year, the winner is Lauren Cordwell. The History Award, the George and Trilby Shaw Prize, goes to Scarlett Corbett. The Land-Based Award this year goes to Joseph Kirkham and Charlie Shenton. For Mathematics, Evie Elliott. Further Maths, Alistair D'Souza. The Food Preparation and Nutrition Award, the Ian Bates and Family Prize, goes to Faye Cockshott. Two Modern Foreign Language Awards. The French Award goes to Sam Costabile. And the German Award to Lauren Ward. In music, and also picking up the Oswald House Dental Prize for Physics, is Rocco Hyde. For physical education, the Brailsford Golf Course Prize, and also picking up the special prize for Year 11 achievement, is Freya Harper. In religious studies, the winner is George Taylor. And then the Science Oswald House Dental Prizes. In biology goes to George Miller. In chemistry, and also picking up a special prize for Year 11 achievement, Emma Wigfall. And in core additional science, the winner here is Charlotte Toon. Final award in this category for Sport BTEC, Sophie Burton. The next category is special prizes for Year 11 achievement. 8 winners in this category. First 4 are Hannah Burton, Arthur Coe, Lottie Cowley and Molly Davis. And we also have Freya Harper, Henry Nye, Lauren Ward and Emma Wigfall. The award for Year 11 contribution to school life this year goes to Paul Smith. Next up is the Woodruff Benton Award. Woodruff Benton, a former pupil from 1917 to 1921, lived as a boarder at the old school in Church Street. Shortly before Woodruff died, the Woodruff Benton Foundation charity was formed to support various causes. The Woodruff Benton Award is awarded to the students who have made an outstanding contribution to the life of the school. And the 2 winners for this award this year are Harriet Robinson and Archie Tunnicliffe. The next award is the Old Trust Head Teacher Award. The Old Trust are the founders of the school, seeking permission from Queen Elizabeth I to open a grammar school on Church Street. Permission was given and Queen Elizabeth's Grammar School was opened in 1585. The Old Trust Head Teacher Award is awarded to the students who have gone above and beyond, led by example and supported the head teacher in maintaining our school ethos. The winners of this award are James Wheeler and Hannah Wright. The next award is the JCB Prize for the Best Performance at GCE Advanced Level. And the award this year goes to Louis de Souza. I swear he's grown about a foot since he was last here. The Governor's Advanced Level Prize, awarded to the student who made most progress in the sixth form, this year goes to James Moore. And now we move on to the sixth form subject prizes. We begin these awards with the Applied Science BTEC Award, this year awarded to Bronwyn Williams. The Art and Design Award this year goes to Imogen Scotcher. And the Art and Design BTEC Award, sponsored by Vanti Jewellers of Ashbourne, goes to Isabel Torpy. The award in biology, and also picking up the award for chemistry, and also an award for the extended project qualification, goes to Annie Whitehouse. In business studies, sponsored by Delicious Coffee, this award goes to Anna Louise Poisier. The Business BTEC Extended Diploma Award goes to Emily Wakefield. In computer science, the winner is Charles Fellows. Creative digital media, the award goes to Hope Connett. In economics, the Bennett Samway Estate Agents Prize goes to Edward Smith, who is also picking up a further Maths Award too. In English language, the winner is Lucy Harvey. And in English literature, the Orgill Prize goes to Daisy Jasper. The Geography Award this year, the Helen Baker Prize, goes to Phoebe Cope. And the History Award, the Old Trust Prize, goes to Amber Ward, who also picks up an award in Religious Studies. The Mathematics, the H.J. Mears Prize this year goes to May Phelan. The Further Maths Award, if he's managed to scamper back around in time, goes to Edward Smith. The Music Award this year goes to Henry Morton. The Performing Arts Award, Ivan Yakutin. The Physics Award this year is Louis de Souza. Physical Education goes to Ross Arnold. The Politics Award this year goes to Audrey Noble. Psychology Award goes to Eloise Bevan. In Sociology, the winner is Holly Dawson. And in the Sport Extended Diploma Award, Grace Young. In Spanish, the award goes to Frederick Garrett. This is his brother. Fred's in Argentina, apparently. For the Teaching and Learning Award, this award goes to George Tuck. The next award this evening is a special prize for achievement in the sixth form, and the winner of this prize this year is Edward Carroll. For the sixth form contribution to school life prizes, the three winners in this category are Samuel Mead, Imogen Scotcher and Imogen Wilcox-Jones. The next award is the E.A. Sadler Cup, presented to last year's head students in memory of Dr. E.A. Sadler, 1864 to 1945, who joined the governors and assistants of the school in 1905. Father of Michael Sadler, long-serving post-war chairman of the governors, after whom the gymnasium is named. And the winners of this award go to Harriet Robinson, Archie Tunnicliffe, James Wheeler and Hannah Wright. The next award is the Advanced Level Futures Award. The award has been developed with the support of a local company, Shepherd PR, and the University of Derby. It recognises a student's commitment to volunteering and developing employability skills, with a particular focus on leadership. There are plenty of winners for this award this year. The first four are Eloise Bevan, Louis D'Souza, Molly Garrity and Ethan Green. We also have Ellie Mae Jenkins, Georgia Lynn Watt, Harriet Robinson and Keely Ryan. Evie Trickey, Nia Vaikler, Sienna Walker-Farrell and Annie Whitehouse. And finally, Imogen Wilcox-Jones, Izzy Wilson, Hannah Wright and Grace Young. The next award is the Heritage Shield, presented to a student for promoting the local history of the school. And the winner of this award this year is James Wheeler. He tells me he's got his Stoke tie on. Even better. The Peter M. Jennings Memorial Prize. Peter Jennings was a schoolmaster at Queen Elizabeth's Grammar School for over 30 years. For most of that time, he was also assistant head housemaster at the boarding house. This prize is given in his memory, and is awarded to students who have shown consistent endeavour. And the winner of the award this year is Hannah Smith. The next award is the Rotary Club of Ashbourne Prize for Community Service. This trophy is kindly sponsored by the Rotary Club of Ashbourne. Two winners in this category tonight, Vitek Sajek and Hamish Nye. The next award is the Ashbourne Partnership Community Shield, awarded to a student in recognition of services to the local community. Two winners in this category tonight, Alistair Creswell and Georgia Lynn Watt. George is on the way. The Ashburnian House Championship Trophy. The winner of the house this year goes to Boothby. The Henry and Bessie Hand Cup. Arthur Hand, who was a student at Queen Elizabeth Grammar School from 1902 to 1909, left £50 in his estate for the purchase of a silver cup, which was to be known as the Henry and Bessie Hand Cup, and to be awarded to the boy considered to be the best all-round sportsman of the year. And this year this award goes to Ewan Busfield. The next award is the White House Construction Prize, kindly sponsored by White House Construction, and the winner of this award is Josh Kozakovich. The next award is the Myra G. Mears Salve Award. Mrs. Myra G. Mears, from 1904 to 1996, was a previous PE teacher at QEGS, a distinguished sportswoman and one of the founders of the Ashbourne Ladies Hockey Club. The Myra G. Mears Salve is presented to the girl who has achieved the most in physical education and sport. And the winner of this award goes to Eleanor Andrews. The Hurt Prize for Creativity Across the Curriculum, awarded to any student who demonstrates the ability to go above and beyond subject boundaries and use their imagination to do something truly special and inventive. And the winner of this year's award goes to Sienna Walker Farrell. The Ashburnian Prize for Contribution to the Artistic Life of the School, and this year's winner is Ava Lees. The Catherine Jones Memorial Award. Catherine was a member of staff at QEGS from 2005 to January 2016. She was a key advocate of student mentoring programme. This prize is awarded to the student mentee who has made the most progress as a result of this programme. And this year the award goes to Shakira Harvey. Next up is the QEGS MAT Awards. The Question, Explore, Give and Succeed Awards are awarded to the students who have best promoted the QEGS MAT values. The Question Award is awarded to a student who questions the status quo and strives to improve student well-being. And the winner of this award this year is Ben Archer. The Explore Award is awarded to a student who has explored ways for student voices to be heard, and this year that goes to Thomas Rennie. The Give Award awarded to a student who has given their time and effort to school and community events, and this year the winner of this is George Tuck. And finally, the Succeed category, awarded to a student who has succeeded in a particular activity or skill in and out of school, and this goes to Emily Wakefield. The next award is the QEGS FPTA Award, awarded to students who have gone the extra mile. A few awards in this category: Mary Brooks, Anna Louise Poitier, George Ilsley, Ellie Mitchell and Oscar Robinson. The next award is the Ashbourne Town Council John Brown Award for Innovation, and the winner of this award this year is Robert Wheeler. The Mrs. McCarthy Food Technology Prize. Mrs. McCarthy was a senior mistress at QEGS and wanted this prize to support and promote a passion for food technology. This prize is awarded to the student who has excelled in this area, and this year the winner is Paul Smith. Next is the Dave Roberts Memorial Award. Mr. Roberts was the head of music at Queen Elizabeth Grammar School for 33 years. This prize is awarded to the students for exceptional musical performance or composition. And this year the winner is Alistair Creswell. The QEGS Unsung Hero Award, promoted to a student who contributes quietly behind the scenes to support the school and promote the QEGS value of give. The winner of this award this year goes to Jessica Barnett. And then, as Mr. Garrity mentioned earlier on, the QEGS Oscar Award, presented to the best student film of 2024, created by a CDM student. With her film, Goodbye Dear Diary, the winner of this award tonight is Bella Dean. And I believe before my final presentation award, we're going to see a short excerpt of that film.
I'm joined here with Bella. So your film is called Goodbye Dear Diary. Can you walk through that, Ian?
I got the idea from in my movie There's a Girl Named Anna, and it's basically based around him making the video diary. I can't really say too much because it'll spoil the rest of the movie, but that's kind of what you're doing.
So we're going to now see the results of Bella's film. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name's Isla, and I've been instructed by the GP to make a video diary, keeping track of my anxiety and worries. I've been battling anxiety and depression for as long as I can remember, really. I mean, since I was a child, I've never really, I don't know, I've never really felt the same as anyone else. I've never really felt normal, you know? I don't know. Look, well, it's been hard. My depression almost makes me feel like I'm worthless, as if I'm nothing. Sometimes I just feel like my life is like a bottomless pit. I'm rambling on too much. That is way too much for the first day. Look, anyways. I've got to go in a minute. Just quick. I'll be making this video diary every day. Well, if it's a day of note, you know. I'm waiting for a letter from CAMS, a referral. Hopefully, by the time I finish this video diary and I feel comfortable, I will have gotten the referral. I really need this. Dear Diary, today is my last entry. My last day on this earth.
I'm numb. What's the purpose of anything anymore? What's the purpose of me even being here? They obviously think that I'm not in need of help. So there's only one more thing I can do. I don't want to do it, but it's the only way I can escape this constant prison. No more pain, no more worry, no more pressure and expectation, just peace. A lifetime of peace. The system's failed me. CAMS, they rejected my referral. I got the letter. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Dear Diary. Gosh, it's been so long since I've said those words. It's been 3 years since I first said those words. Since I started this diary.
And the final award from me tonight is the Anne Martin Prize for Leadership. Anne Martin was appointed as the first female head teacher at QEGS in September 2012. Anne then became a National Leader of Education in 2015 and Executive Head Teacher at QEGS, and was the founder CEO of QEGS Mat in 2017. After completing 100 terms in education, Anne retires from her role as CEO in December 2024. The Anne Martin Prize for Leadership is awarded to a student who has demonstrated outstanding leadership skills and is kindly sponsored by the Old Trust. And the winner of this new award this year is Mary Brooks. I'll now hand over to Mr. Bembridge for the final award of the evening. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It comes to me for our fellowship award winners. So the fellows are award winners where members of the public, colleagues, ex-colleagues, students have gone above and beyond in supporting our school. And we have 5 winners of the fellowship award tonight. The first, a former colleague of mine, she didn't teach me, so work on that one, is Mrs. Jill Wesley. So since retiring, Jill has been an ambassador for QEGS within the Ashbourne community. She attends events and supports the school, and for a number of years, initially when Anne Martin was head teacher, and during Scott Garrity's headship, Jill has taken on the role of representing QEGS with the Woodruff Benton Foundation. She has been the golden thread between the school and the foundation, attending regular meetings in London, providing reports, supporting funding requests from the school, and is pivotal in ensuring funds are granted and spent appropriately. Her driver is for equality of opportunity. Jill firmly believes that every child should receive equal access to all opportunities regardless of their starting point. Funding from the Woodruff Benton continues to support this ethos. Thank you, Jill, for the many years you've dedicated to QEGS, both as a teacher and in your voluntary role. Please put your hands together for our first award winner, Mrs. Jill Wesley. There might be a pattern you might notice with this next one, and it wasn't planned, I promise. Our next winner of the Fellowship Award is Mr. Keith Wesley. Since retiring, Keith has served QEGS in a governance capacity, representing the Old Trust as a member of the Multi-Academy Trust. Keith regularly communicates between QEGS, QEGS MAT and the Old Trust, ensuring that everybody remains in the loop. He has attended many QEGS events, supporting the school, both on-site and within the local community. He has given his time freely to be part of interview panels, something I believe he quite enjoys doing, attending meetings, and is part of discussions on the strategic direction of QEGS MAT. He is a true champion for QEGS and the Trust. His knowledge of the school and community is impressive, to say the least. He is definitely a friend of the school and is somebody who will speak honestly, factually, and with a real sense of purpose and about the power of education to improve lives. Thank you, Keith, both for the time you've given to both QEGS and QEGS MAT over the years, both as a mathematics teacher, head of department, and your work in governance. And I did say I'd say it, and also a personal one from me, because without Keith as my maths teacher, when I was sat where you are, I wouldn't have been stood here, because it was Keith that dragged me through my maths GCSE and got me where I'm stood today. So from me, Keith, thank you very much. And put hands together, please, for our next recipient, Keith Wesley. Our third award winner tonight is Mr. Brian Bates. Brian has been chair of the Old Trust for 2 terms of office and has supported the school on numerous occasions, both in person, in attending school events, and with financial grants for student prizes. Brian has been a great ally and counsel for both Anne Martin and Scott Garrity in their roles as CEO and head teacher respectively. Brian has given his time and support freely and without question. He has been generous and caring and has been student-centred in his efforts to support the school. Thank you, Brian. Round of applause, please, for our next award winner. Our next award winner is Mr. Martin Farr. Martin has continued to support the school beyond his term of employment at QEGS. He volunteers his time to referee, umpire, and marshal many sporting events. He is a real champion of our school's sporting talent and has enabled many sports fixtures to take place because of the time he devotes to our school. His expertise on the sports field is second to none, and he is a real role model for our PE team and the students he coaches and officiates for. Martin wants students to participate in sport. This is the real success. The winning is great too, but the real success is seeing young people active and enjoying themselves. Martin helps this participation be as high as it can possibly be. And again, this has got a bit of a personal level for me. Again, when I was sat where you were, I had a bit of a hit a crossroads on what I wanted to do with my life. And Martin was my PE teacher. Took me to one side and said, look, come on, give me some opportunities to coach. And I've never looked back. And I was 14 years old when he did that. I then, unbelievably, ended up working for him for 20 years when he was head of PE here as well. And he's not a bad boss as well. So our next award winner is Mr. Martin Farr. The final award we're giving tonight, we're awarding posthumously. We're awarding it to Mrs. Doreen Wheatcroft. As a former member of the Old Ashburnians, Doreen gave freely of her time to support the school at numerous events. Doreen was treasurer of the society for a significant number of years, at least 20. She ensured the society's finance were always managed and allowed the society to grant numerous help to past and previous students of the school. She was an absolute rock to all the people on the Ashburnian committee, including myself. She was always a source of information, a source of calm, and was always a steady hand when you needed to make some important decisions. So I'd like Doreen's son to come up and collect it on her behalf, please. Doreen Wheatcroft. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Mr. Bembridge and to Mr. Walker. I'd now like to introduce our second musical interlude, George Robbins in Year 7. He is going to play Gollywog's Cakewalk on the piano. Thank you, George. That was an amazing performance. I will now hand over to our guest of honour, Mr. Max Jeffrey.
Good evening, everyone. There's a real problem talking to you this evening, not least of which because the school is 400 years old, not least of which because there's a whole group of people in here that have committed genuinely lifetimes to it. But I've also just presented an award to the person who transformed my maths and the person who inspired sport for a lifetime. So, let me have a go, if I may. I've been lucky enough to be associated with QEGS for about 38 years, which I know there's a couple of other students who are the same generation of ours. There's a problem with that, of course, it ages you, doesn't it? There's no avoiding it, though. I've done it as a student. I've been lucky enough to be part of the governors here. I've been a parent, and my harshest critic is sat in the front row. So if I'm looking a little nervous, that's why Olivia's here with us as well. But another reason I'm here is because I also work for a little local company up the road called JCB, and we rely on you to come and do some fantastic things. So I think there's 3 or 4 reasons. I know there are people here, and we've just seen some of them on the stage, who've genuinely dedicated their lifetime to a place like QEGS and made a real difference. And there's a theme I'd like to just pick up on for the next few minutes, just talking to you. I'm going to pick up straight off the back of what Mr. Garrity said, and I was lucky enough to be part of the governing body here for a number of years. One of the first things I was lucky enough to do was part of a small group, and you may or may not appreciate this, students, certainly ex-students would do, where we got to assess and put through an assessment centre, for those of you that are thinking about those, Mrs. Martin. And off the back of that, made a really key appointment back in 2012. Mrs. Martin, this remains one of the best decisions I was part of making. And you have proven to be wonderful for QEGS, the MAT, and the surrounding area. And that knack that Mrs. Martin, Anne, has for both running a really big organisation, but somehow working out how to remember everyone's name, whether you've been here last term or 20 terms ago, let alone 100 terms ago, it's a genuine superpower. And again, Mr. Bembridge has set the tone. I'm sorry, for those of you that struggle with that emotional piece, you're going to get a little bit of that this evening, I'm sure. On behalf of myself, Nikki, Olivia, and Amelia, thank you. That theme of making a difference, I hope, is what I'm going to try and talk a little bit about this evening to you, and genuinely the people that have made a difference. 3 key things happened when I came to QEGS. I arrived at an unusual time, year 9, things had been established, and I came all the way from Derby, which seemed like a long way at that point. And for those of you that also travelled on the 107 or 109 bus, or maybe even still do today, it was quite a trek, but I was fairly comfortable with it. I'd been to a few schools before. My mum and dad were a bit nervous about it, but it happened. 3 things happened. I made a great group of friends, and a number of which, while I know, are genuinely the closest friends I have to this day, and despite the fact they now live thousands of miles away, that bond remains. I met a chap called Mr. Foster, who was my physics teacher. More on that in a moment. And then I also met a whole group of other people, because you join in a new year group, and some people you think, oh, I'm not sure I like them. And I'm certain they thought that about me, and I could probably understand now why that didn't happen either. It turns out, because one of the challenges is when you meet your teachers at a later date, you then have a bit of a conversation of what it was really like. Turns out I was a bit of a challenge to teach. I really found it quite difficult learning some stuff here. But the nice thing was, for me at least, I didn't really realise it. all it was about was just kind of working hard and trying to genuinely have fun while I was here. Now I've come to know, especially being a trustee, it's the privilege of seeing teachers in action from the other side, is that teaching, despite the fact that it tends to be 1 against 30 or 20 or 10, is a team sport. And it's the effort from all the staff that make the difference. But there's no question, though, that from day one, the maths department and the English department had their work cut out in teaching me. But they got me through GCSEs, just about. And then that allowed me to take my A-levels, and Mr. Foster got me a grade in my A-levels that allowed me to go to university, and I went to Loughborough University. Didn't travel far. For those of you that like those sort of things, I think there's still that conversation. There's a conversation always about flight paths often, or the equivalent of it in the school. For those of you that are mathematically, my flight path was clearly an exponential one, from very low beginnings to not very high achievement, but got me where I needed to be. For those of you that left mathematically minded, let's call it I was a late developer. But either way, the team here, a number of which are sat here for goodness sake, got me to where I wanted to go. I did mention earlier on there were a group of people that I didn't think I got on with. It's an interesting one, isn't it? You arrive in a new school, or you arrive with a group of friends. Actually, they turned out to be one of the biggest lessons in my life. Because actually it turns out we did get in friends at the moment. And of course, I'm not talking about we're close friends with lots of people. But actually the ability to get on with different people is a fundamental thing in life. And Mr. Garrity was talking about that. And it was a really formative thing that QEGS taught me. I understood off the back of that, and genuinely, whether it was team sports or whether it was discussions in the common room, that ability to get on with different people is the core thing of one of the things that's allowed me to get to where I've got to today. The other thing that happened at QEGS, and it happened just outside student services, if you know where that happens, was I met JCB there. Of course, you don't meet a company, you meet someone else that changes your life, and it was a chap called John Shepherd at that time. And I walked up to John. Actually, I didn't walk up to John. My father pushed me up to John, and my mother was stood beside me because you could see what sort of family we were, and said, right, go on, ask Mr. Shepherd. And I asked him for work experience. I was in year 10 at the time. And before anyone gets worried that we've got 38 years of this, the rest is genuinely history. I got to work for JCB while I studied the rest of my GCSEs and summer holidays. I got to work for them while I studied my A-levels here. And then I got to work for them while I studied my degree in mechanical engineering at Loughborough University. And if you thought getting on with year 9s when you're right at the top of the school is challenging, wait till you get into the world of work. And then you meet a completely different set of people again. But if you've got that ability to get on with people, it makes such a difference to life. It's a different thing to liking people. That's a whole other thing. It's a different thing to being close. But that ability to get on and make a difference is something I'd really like to just talk to you about. Jump forward a few years, and I'm now on the exec board of JCB. I'm part of a group of 8 that get to run JCB on a day-to-day basis. I'm the HR director, and along, it's a real privilege saying this, along with about 20 other thousand people worldwide, we run a small family business just up the road. And we make diggers and tractors and power systems and access equipment that genuinely go everywhere in the world to do all sorts of fabulous things. I was lucky enough to talk to year 11 earlier. They were sat where the parents were. And one really astute person, young person, asked me, well, how on earth did you get from engineering into HR? So I said, well, it is about engineering, but it's also about room 602, the old tech, soon to be new tech block, which will confuse everyone. Well, it's just like my flight path at QEGS. It's not straight. It's not even curved. It's a really hodgepodge of different things. I've had 23 different jobs with JCB and just about loved every single one of them. The killer bit, though, to it is just the people you meet. When I first met John here, then when I graduated, I met another group and worked genuinely in design and development, and so that turned me from being someone who'd come from university into an engineer. And if you'd have asked me, that was all I ever wanted to do. Because, by the way, and sorry to be a little bit partisan about it, engineering's awesome. It genuinely is awesome. Someone comes up to you, I'll get back to the point in a second. Someone comes up to you and says, we have a problem. And then hands you a blank piece of paper and says, can you solve it? And you then get to go and solve a problem. And sometimes that's a really small problem, and sometimes it's a really big one. And the thing you find at JCB is there's some really big stuff out there to go and solve. And you get this lovely sense of the difference you can make. And that's a very physical and practical thing, because we make diggers, for goodness sake. But it's that essence of being able to make a difference that's such a fundamental thing. Now, you also quickly realize you don't just design it, you then need a business around you to make it really work. But it turns out, and I hope this is useful, it turns out that the really critical bit, though, is not unique to engineering. It's not even unique to business. It's the ability to get on with people and make a difference that really counts. And it's the same ability to do stuff with people and make a difference that counts in all aspects of life. You heard Mr. Garrity earlier on list some of the great things that you do at QEGS. I would absolutely take that. And the qualifications, unfortunately, they are, of course, keys to what you might want to do. That remains the same throughout your life. But that ability to take some knowledge and some skills and some other bits and pieces about getting on with people and then doing something with it is where the real key bits are. So why am I making this point? In one sense, some of you, I'm certain, particularly those that maybe have studied psychology or maybe something, I think, well, that's a very obvious point to make. It is. But actually, it's not that common. Or it's not as common as you'd hope it would be. There are lots of people that know lots of things, lots of people that have got lots of skills, and a group of people who are really motivated. But it's only when they all come together that the difference is made. It's a thing that still motivates me today. I didn't think I'd get to do it to music, but that's great. And that ability to make a difference is something I hope with a short bit now it'll make a bit of sense to you. I spent a couple of years designing diggers. Quite enjoyed it, I hope you can tell. I then met a chap called Paul Pritchard, another person who made a really fundamental difference to my life. Paul worked in a funny part of a business, some of you may be familiar, it's called learning and development. It's like going back to school. And Paul described another set of problems with people. And then he described some of the things to make a difference. I thought, I can make a difference. Actually, I didn't say that. What I said was, I'll have a go at trying to make a difference. Because I didn't know enough, and I needed some more skills, and I learnt those. And the critical thing happened off the back of that. Which is, actually, I realised it wasn't just about engineering and the ability to make a difference. It's the ability to make a difference in itself that matters. And that's where the real satisfaction comes from. In engineering, you can see it. In HR, you can see it in the faces of the people. In teaching, it's just like teaching. You can see it in the faces of the teachers, the satisfaction they get. But once I'd worked that out, of course, then the world's your oyster. Because it's not about what title you have or what you do first. It's about where are you going to go and make a difference, and can you get along with people while you're there. That led me to manufacturing, and if you want a sense of achievement, I encourage you to work in manufacturing. There is nothing quite so exciting as at the end of a day looking up a production line and seeing 150 machines that are going off to build hospitals and build roads and repair them as that. You can really see what you've done in a day. Now, I hope this is starting to make a little bit of sense. That opportunity to make a difference is absolutely why I jumped at the chance to become a governor here. Because I'd worked out what had made a difference to me, and I saw the chance with a great team of other people, and you've heard from other trustees and other governors, just the chance to make a difference is a really satisfying thing. I've also had the chance to travel around the world in the job I've got, especially to India. India, if you didn't know, for JCB is a home from home for us. We're probably better known there than we are here. But I met a whole host of people there that, again, completely changed my outlook on life. And a real challenge to get on with them, because very different backgrounds. But actually, it's our ability to make a difference together and do things together and get on with each other that drives the success of farmers, it drives the success of construction, it drives successes in India, it drives successes in a village, it allows people to build drainage, it does that. It's a fabulous thing to see. Before I got this job, just to describe a career path for you, I wouldn't worry about a career path. You'll all be successful. I went back into engineering previous to this job, and where again worked with a team of people, and they are genuinely people who are world class by any standards, and they live and work on your doorstep here. And we've produced a group of machines there that will do all those same jobs, but would do it without producing any CO2 whatsoever. And there's a chap there called Steve, and another lady there called Christine, and a chap called Mike, that just make such a difference. A couple of key things before I finish. I would really encourage you to think about what sort of difference you want to make when you're thinking about what you go and do and where you do it. To take what you know and the things you can do and be motivated to do it make all the difference in this world. If you're lucky and you know what you want to do next, fantastic. If you know what brings you great satisfaction, even better, because then you match the two together. I'd make a little point, which is one of the things I think I've learned over the last few years of work, is that there's a real other clever knack to it, which is learning to enjoy the things you do. Whether they're the things you want to do for the next 10 years, 2 years, 10 days, is an entirely different thing. Look for the difference you're making, rather than perhaps the cost of doing it. Because then you're really focused on just the difference you're making, either in your local community, if you travel far from here, making a difference over there. And that applies to whatever you do, even if it's not engineering. And when I asked Year 11 earlier, only 2 people put their hand up. That drive to make a difference and to focus on how you make that difference does take away a lot of the effort about, is this going to cost me? Is it the right thing? You name it. And you can apply it to all aspects of life. So do, as you've done, take your awards, get your certificates, take those skills you heard Mr. Garrity talk about, and clearly you're exhibiting, and go and make a difference in the world. Because I know that you're more than capable of doing it, because that's what the school's been able to do for 400 years, and by the looks of it, it's getting better and better. Now, I did say I'd try and talk a little bit just about Ashbourne, just for a closing bit. And as a 16, let alone an 18-year-old, there is no way I would have said this. But I'm going to now, and of course everyone says it when they're a bit older. That's the benefit of doing what I've done and the chances I've had, and to be involved with this organisation for a very short period by some standards. But it has made all the difference. It may be difficult to see, but if you're not sure now, please take my perspective on it. QEGS is a great school by any standards for anywhere I've been in the world. It really makes a difference, and I can see it's made a difference to you, and I hope that continues. And then I have a last little thing just to say about Ashbourne. I would ask, and this might be a bit of a stretch for you, think about Ashbourne in the same way, because I'd have never said that as an 18-year-old. I'm not asking you to be naive about Ashbourne. It's not perfect. The traffic's awful, and it is a little bit old-fashioned in places, and there are some odd traditions that we have. I'd encourage you to look at those as maybe some great things about pointing us to the future. It rains quite a lot, doesn't it? But it's quite special. And on the world stage, it's a safe place. It's got a great school. It's got great students that come to it. It's remarkably well placed if you look at it from a global perspective. We're within a couple of hours of some of the greatest cities on earth here, as well as living in a fabulous part of the country. On your doorstep, you have some of the greatest organisations anywhere. Small ones doing some fabulous things in marketing, right the way through to technology, right the way through to some really big ones. And I know it might be difficult to see, but some of the stuff's going on in here isn't happening in Silicon Valley. It's not happening in Munich in Germany. It's certainly not happening in Shanghai. It's happening here with some great people making a really big difference. You don't need to look any further for role models. You've got Mrs. Martin. You have Mr. Garrity and his team here. You have the supporters of the school. That's what makes this a great place. And my perspective is by any standard worldwide. So, whatever you consider to do next, wherever you think you might go and make a difference in the world, which I am certain you will, please consider Ashbourne. If it's not Ashbourne, think about the Midlands. If it's not the Midlands, definitely think about Great Britain. And I know that might be difficult to see, especially if you look at some of the politics and the other problems that go on today, but it's here, and it's great. And if you're up for making a difference, I know there's at least a couple of hundred other people here that I'm certain will commit to helping you make that difference for the future. Congratulations to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jeffrey. I'd now like to introduce our third musical interlude. The QEGS Chamber Choir is going to sing In the Bleak Midwinter.
Frosty wind may blow much to the Chamber Choir for another wonderful musical performance. I'd now like to take the opportunity to say a number of thank yous. First of all, to Mrs. Martin, our QEGS Mat Chief Exec, for her dedication to the education of thousands of students at QEGS and across our trust. And we wish her all the very best for the future as she enjoys her retirement. Big round of applause. And of course, a big thank you to Mr. Max Jeffrey for his inspirational speech and a great insight into his career. I understand that the Year 11s also enjoyed you speaking to him earlier today, so thank you very much. We have some gifts and some flowers for you here. So we've got a big round of applause. We give thanks to our school benefactors, the Woodruff Benton Foundation and the Old Trust. Your generous contributions to QEGS allow students from all backgrounds to fulfil their potential and achieve their goals, so thank you. We would like to thank the Board of Governors for the work they do to help the school achieve its goals and objectives, and especially to Mr. Moore as well, so thank you. We have some flowers for you as well. We would also like to thank the Ashburnia Society for their work to bring past students and staff at QEGS together, so thank you to you as well. We give thanks to the Ashbourne Town Councillors who are in attendance this evening, so thank you very much for coming. And a big thank you to all the staff here at QEGS. Without their hard and persistent work, we as students would not receive the education we have, so thank you very much to you as well. And finally, we would like to thank, of course, our head teacher, Mr. Garrity, for his enduring commitment to the progress of this school. And on his behalf, we would like to offer flowers to Mrs. Garrity for ongoing support. So thank you very much.
Now I'd like Mrs. Anne Martin to give a farewell message.
I'm glad I don't have to wear this every day. Heavens. Thank you, everyone, for so many kind words this evening. It's difficult to put into words how much this moment means to me. And it is true, it's after 100 terms of service, I am ready to take on the next chapter of my life. When I first started my career in 1991, I never imagined all the wonderful memories and the relationships that would come with it, nor the number of times I would smile and say, "Tuck your shirt in." Every day has been rewarding in its own way. I have worked with many schools, every one of them unique, welcoming and committed to putting children and young people in their community at the heart of everything. But today is an especially bittersweet occasion as I bid farewell to all my colleagues and look ahead to the future. I think about all the fantastic people I've met who've helped me along the way. From colleagues who encouraged me, sometimes through challenging times, and actually made me laugh every day. Those who spent countless hours with me in meetings, and many of them are here today, brainstorming ideas, building projects together, and to the mentors who gave wise advice when I needed it most. I think about the thousands of children and young people I have met, taught, worked with, and seen progress successfully to the next stage of their lives. This has been my privilege, my honor. These relationships made me want to come to work every day, something I could not have done without having the most amazing family who have been there for me through every twist and turn. Thank you to you all tonight, and a special thank you to QEGS, a community which will always hold a special place in my heart. And those of you that know me know that to be true. My gratitude extends beyond words, and although I won't be in the office or around school anymore, there will still be plenty of contributions yet to come from me, and those like me who will carry this legacy forward into our respective futures. With every challenge you face, there will always be someone new at your side willing to help you, to remove barriers and obstacles, to find a solution, to help you whenever you need it. There will always be someone to inspire you, a role model encouraging you to develop and take the next step in your career. There will always be someone to talk to, and importantly, to laugh with and to share successes with. So allow me to leave you with a few pieces of advice, a little wisdom after my time. Believe in yourself, but never be afraid of asking questions and learning more. Never, ever forget the little things in life, because simply smiling and saying hello can make a positive difference to someone's day. Cherish every relationship you come across, and remember that hard work pays off even when you don't see it right away. With that said, I will miss you, and I hope to stay in touch and see how everyone is doing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your encouragement and friendship. I will never forgive it. I'll never forget it, not forgive it, forget it. I wish you all continued success in everything you do. And above all, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a very successful and happy 2025. Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you've done for the school. We wish you a happy and fulfilling retirement. Now, if you're able, please stand as we sing the school hymn, Jerusalem. I would now like to invite the Reverend Nigel Rowe to lead us in prayer.
And let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we gather together for this prize-giving ceremony, we give thanks for the gifts and talents that you have given to each and every one, staff, teachers, students. In realising that not everyone may be a prize winner, we recognise that it is the endeavours of everyone that contributes to the greater good and the success of the school. And we offer these thanks in Jesus' name. Amen. We also give thanks for the life of James Ilsley, and especially his contribution of 14 years to the school. May he be fondly remembered by the colleagues with whom he worked, and by the students whom he taught creative and digital media. Our thoughts and prayers at this time are with James' wife and 2 daughters, other family, and all those whose lives were touched by him. We pray that he may be aware of God's comforting presence with them at this sad and difficult time. Amen. And now, as Christmas approaches, may the joy of the angels, the eagerness of the shepherds, the perseverance of the wise men, the obedience of Joseph and Mary, and the peace of the Christ child be yours this Christmas. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be among you and remain with you and those you pray for and whom you love, this day and always. Amen.
Thank you for joining us here this evening. We invite you to join us in the school canteen for drinks and light refreshments. But before that, please can I ask you to be upstanding as the stage party leave the stage. Thank you. Thank you very much. On behalf of all the students and staff here at QEGS, may I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.